Episode 10.
Struggling to get your business online? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Michael and Teresa Blaze.
Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. I'm Michael, and I have my business partner and better half, Teresa.
Good evening or morning or wherever you happen to be.
And so, we have been absent for the last few weeks, and I want to apologize for that. We both caught that gnarly bug that was going around, and it kicked both of our butts.
Yeah, and then he didn't have a voice for a week, so that kind of...
I sounded like a frog. Ribbit.
Yeah, basically.
So,
And then we had a trip to go on to. So, just a combination of that stuff just really made getting episodes out difficult. So I want to apologize for that.
And we actually had one episode recorded, and then the audio was just horrendously bad, so we weren't going to release something that you guys weren't going to be able to hear.
Exactly, so
we have been trying.
Okay, that being said, we want to
Meanwhile,
apologize.
on with the show.
Indeed.
Okay, so first of all, a couple of announcements. We will have the contest page by the time that this episode is released, and we are going to push back the contest to the end of May. It is not fair for you guys to have a contest page that doesn't exist yet. We are working on it, working with the new technology, and it's been interesting to say the least. But by the time that this episode is up, the contest page will be up along with the other downloads that we promised you. Oh, we apologize for that. We will get better at it. Please forgive us. Don't shoot us. Don't slap us with a wet noodle. We will get better. It's unbelievable how much stuff you have to do for each episode to make it all work right.
And we're slowly getting our rhythms in place, so
don't vacate, don't unsubscribe, all that. And thank you for all the listens and the reviews. I don't remember if we mentioned or not, but we're over 1,000 downloads now. So pretty excited about that. So, Teresa, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I kind of wrangled Mike to give me free reign.
Scary. Very scary.
And I thought, let's take this back to basics, shall we?
Okay.
When you are running a business, what is one of the first things you need to do when starting your business or even launching something within your business?
Good question.
Well,
What are we talking about, Teresa?
we are talking about launching a product, and this could be either online or offline.
Okay. That's a good topic.
And I am going to give you 3 steps that you need to take. This is kind of a general thing, but you can take this and apply it, well, I already run a business and I already have product. Okay, good. Now, how are you going to launch your next one? This will help you launch your next one, or maybe you don't even have one. This will help you launch your first one.
Right.
Okay? Now, the first step, I'll tell you right now, it's not going out and creating a product. It's not. Okay? That's the mistake. Why? Because people are like, well, okay, if I build this, I think they're going to want it, and then they'll buy, and then you get crickets, and then all of a sudden you don't get sales.
So what you're saying is build it and they will come will not work?
Exactly.
But it worked for that movie.
Yes, well, that's why it's a movie and not reality. Anyway, what you want to do, okay, let's say that you are a lawyer.
Okay.
Okay? And you have this idea. Well, I wonder if maybe if I, because I really want to get some recurring revenue. I'm sick of hunting down clients every time I turn around, because I mean it's always a hit and miss game and yada yada yada. Well, what if you were to launch a recurring revenue of, I will give you this many hours, you just pay me this flat fee. And it guarantees you this many hours, you don't ever have to, as long as you're on this payment plan, yada, yada, yada. Okay. First of all, you don't want to just launch that.
Right.
What do you want to do? Test it. You want to find out, okay, who would be the perfect customer for this product?
Okay.
Okay. Maybe you're a divorce lawyer. Okay. Well, maybe it's someone who, doesn't have a lot of money, so you're going to kind of reduce your, set a flat fee, and you can advertise of, are you looking for help, divorce help? Okay. Pay this flat fee, and you're guaranteed this many hours.
Okay.
Well, go out and ask some people who are, within your market if they would buy something like that. Or maybe you're a business attorney who, works with different companies.
Right.
Okay. Well, find out from different business owners. Hey, would you actually buy something like this? If they say yes, then you go on to your next step. If they say no, then you know not to offer it, period, because you don't have a market that's interested.
Right.
Okay? If they say yes, then what you do is you create a page and maybe you pre-sell it. Hey, I'm going to be launching this in a week or two. Would you be willing to buy it? Okay? If they actually hand over money, then you know you have a product. Does it have to be perfect? No. It just has to work. It has to solve one problem, and that's where we go into the third step.
Okay, what's the third step?
That's what you launch a minimally viable product. And the goal of that product, whatever that product is, needs to solve one problem.
Okay. So define minimally viable product, Therese.
Well, if I'm launching a WordPress plugin, for example, I don't need a plugin that does 20 different things.
Right.
I need to solve one problem with one solution.
Okay.
For example, there's a plugin out there that does one thing. It's called Simple Podcast Press. It helps you put your podcast on a web page.
Okay.
Okay? There's a plugin that, but maybe it's a book, and maybe you have a whole bunch of questions around a certain topic.
Well, since you're talking about attorneys, why don't we stay with attorneys for the sake of example? Mm-hmm. What would you consider a minimally viable product for an attorney?
One problem, one solution. So if you're a business owner, maybe I will, for this amount of money, this flat fee, I'll review any documents and I'll help you draft a contract. Or I'll review any documents you send to me.
Right. That model has worked really well for a couple of companies that will remain nameless, but that do basically that same kind of thing. So it's definitely a doable thing. But the thing is, you can do it in whatever niche that you happen to be in.
Exactly.
Now, one thing that you got to think about, though, and you don't want to get the cart before the horse. Before you start building a product, you need a tribe.
Exactly. That's why I say you need to know who your perfect customer is.
Well, it's more than just knowing your perfect customer. It's interacting and just talking to your perfect customer. And you better have a way to do that.
Well, that goes back to some of the stuff we've talked about in the past. That talks about, goes back to using social media. That goes back to, developing, developing your presence online.
Right.
If you are doing your stuff correctly, you're going to build your tribe. And if you build your tribe, then you're going to know, then you can go to them and go, hey, would you guys be interested if I did thus and so?
Okay, we're going to give I'm going to give a quick example of building a tribe, and I'm kind of stealing our partner's thunder a little bit, who will be on in a week or so, talking about the power of social media. That was the episode that got garbled, so we're going to re-record that. But anyway, he is a diabetic, severely diabetic, and he built a website called the Diabetic Cookbook Blog. Unfortunately, there was a problem and we lost the domain, but he had a tribe, and he still has a tribe in social media of, I think he said about 600 people altogether right now on Facebook. And what he did is basically offer recipes and offer basically like a free consultation for people who were looking for what kind of foods that a diabetic could eat. And the interesting thing was that all he was doing was promoting cookbooks that he had affiliate agreements with for Amazon, and he was making money by doing it. And then all of a sudden, people started reaching out to him with different diets, like say a kosher diet or a Middle Eastern diet, or religious requirements.
You mean to say he became an expert in that particular niche?
Well, that's basically what happened, and I don't even think that was really his intent. He was just going to review cookbooks and make some money from some affiliate income. So the point is, he built the tribe before he ever built the product. Now he has his own Mexican diabetic cookbook. So on Amazon. So that's basically it. You need that tribe. You've got to have that group of diehard people that are gonna listen to what you have to say and are gonna resonate with you.
And the thing is, if you start with one product, if you start with your tribe, and then that grows into, okay, I'm going to sell this product to solve this problem.
Right.
If you start with that, then you can take that knowledge and go, okay, what else can I solve? What other problems can I meet?
Right.
Well, I mean, think about John Lee Dumas. Some of you may not know of him, but others might.
He's one of our mentors.
He's he's one of our the people that we respect highly. He was doing an episode of his podcast 7 days a week. And they came to him and they started asking him, "Hey, John, well, how do you do a podcast?" Well, what did he do? He created a community. He did some research. He came out with a minimally viable product. He came out with a community, and now he's making six figures off of that community. He's also allowed that community to tailspin into other communities. Again, solving different problems that they've come to him with.
Right.
So, I guess the point of all our ramblings is this. Your first step, one, if you're going to launch a product, one, build a tribe. Build a tribe and then build your perfect customer. Number two, test. Find out if they're going to want that product. Ask them. Number three, pre-sale. Find out if they're willing to pay for it. And four, launch with a minimally viable product that solves one problem.
Sounds good, Therese.
And with that, I think that is a wrap.
Before we wrap up, let me ask you, Therese, so what is one action that our audience can take towards launching their own product?
One action. Find out what your audience wants. Find out what your audience wants and what you can sell to them. But don't worry about selling it right away. Just find out their needs. And then if you can meet them, do so.
There's lots of ways to do that.
You know, I mean, it's not hard. It's not. It's just a lot of people don't know what to do. And, you know, that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to create this podcast because a lot of people don't know what they're doing, or they don't know what to do, and they overthink the product, or worse, they create it before they're supposed to, and, you know, that's just not a good way to do business. Know what your audience needs.
Yep.
Then create the product.
Totally agree. All right, with that, you've been listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. I'm Michael.
And I'm Teresa.
Have a great night.
You've been listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. To catch all our past shows, visit sbppodcast.com.